Aoife, before we look ahead, if you'll allow me to look back ever so briefly, week 5 of the Six Nations. Tell me what happens and how worried were you straight away about your Rugby World Cup ambitions?
Week 5 of Six Nations, I took a bit of a knock in one of my carries. I came down on my knee, tore my PCL and played on. Thought nothing of it really, to be honest. I knew there was a bit of a niggle in it, but didn't think anything was too serious, which it wasn't, to be fair. So didn't play against Scotland, more so of I'm 22, we want a healthy knee, so more kind of longer picture things than looking straight at the Scotland game. So yeah, took that game off. Got back really fit, really strong. The physios and the S&C team were phenomenal. And then I was training one day, my first full week back of kind of no restrictions, whether that's speed or contact. It was kind of just leash was off and go at it. I was folding around a ruck, and one of the girls did her job really well, but she came through and she landed on my leg, and that was my MCL. So yeah, 2 completely different injuries, nothing to do with each other. Just a bit of luck that didn't go my way. But I think from that Wales game, when I did my PCL, was I worried? No. I knew that the world-class medical team we have here would get me back. I could have played that Scotland game, but we decided it was best for a longer picture that I didn't. So I don't think the World Cup even crossed my mind when I got hurt in the Wales game. But I think in that training session when I did my MCL, it definitely did. As soon as it happened, I knew it wasn't good because I couldn't really move my knee without it hurting. I knew that there was a reason to be worried. Tricky came in with me off the pitch. I got the van in from the pitch to the inside of the high performance centre, and I knew that something was wrong and that it could be bad. I guess then I got the scan, got the results back, and it was that I had to get an op, and had to go see the surgeon next day, get an op a couple of days later, and we were still very hopeful that I'd make the World Cup. So yeah, just rehabbing away now, getting back to it, moving quicker every day. So I don't think it's necessarily a race when you know where the finish line is. It's not something I'm too worried about right now.
The plan is to be in England for 6 weeks to the latter stages of this tournament, so it's about building that fitness, and you don't want to put everything on the line early. It's about playing yourself back into fitness and form.
Yeah, well, I guess when there's any game, whether it's for Ireland, whether it's Leinster, whether it's Wolfhounds, you want to be playing. So I think having it on a world stage where it could potentially be that moment for women's rugby, you want to be a part of it. So I think everyone wants to be a part of it, and for me, I want to get back on the pitch as soon as possible, but I know there's that element of I need to be right as well, because there's no point going onto the pitch if I can't do my job for the team. This is hopefully going to be a long tournament for us. Like you said, it could be 6 weeks on the bounce. So yeah, I just got to get myself right, and hopefully I can put my hand up for a selection then further down the line.
And it's the cruelty of sport as well that there's not many teams will finish third in a 6-team tournament and produce the player of the tournament. That the form that you are producing, it's a year that we hope will still deliver, but it's not the type of event you want to have in the year that was producing the form that you were producing.
Yeah, I think I was just really loving my rugby. I think the girls were giving me chances and giving me opportunities to put out what I do best on the field, and that's probably just run into brick walls and try find a bit of space, or if not create a bit of space. It's been a great year. You even look back at the end of last year and being named in that dream team for World Rugby was an absolute dream, to be honest. And you're standing on stage with players that I would have looked up to for a very long time, having kind of come from a sporting but from a rugby background. So it's kind of that surreal moment where you're standing in Monaco on a stage in front of the Princess of Monaco, and you're standing in front of these sporting legends from decades of the game, and your name is up on the screen with 14 other women who've earned it. So I think then you go into a Six Nations, you have a bit of momentum. Like the whole team has momentum, because even Erin King getting the breakthrough player of the year for World Rugby too, and like we're all just on a high then from WXV 1-2. So like I think it's like, yeah, it's nice to get these awards, but like at the end of the day, it is a team sport, and anything I get or I earn is for the team. Like it's for my family, it's friends, it's for my why, really, isn't it? Like, and I don't get to the places I get to without the girls' help, and without my coach's help, and then without the countless hours of hard work that I put in behind the scenes.
But it reminds everybody, well, you might get the individual accolades, it reminds everybody in the squad that this resurgence that we've seen is genuine and is far from over.
Yeah, like we speak all the time about inspiring the next generation, inspiring ourselves, inspiring our family, our friends, the country. And it's moments like those, whether it's individual or whether it's a team, where people do get inspired. Like for example, I go to games, and if I'm playing, there might be kids in the crowd with red scrum caps, and they're coming up and asking me to sign it. And it's moments that like when I was a kid, like I had role models. So it's really cool to be able to see that I'm now a role model for those kids coming through, whether they're boys or girls. Like it doesn't matter. They just see an Ireland jersey and they see a player that is representing the country. So yeah, like it's far from over. Like a massive goal of ours is to bring Ireland back to a successful Ireland. Like you have those Grand Slam wins, Six Nations wins. You've beaten the Black Ferns in World Cups and getting to semi-finals, and we've been places the men haven't been. So why not bring it back, and why not us?
But the motivation is to look at the team that beat the All Blacks. The first 15s team in Ireland to ever do it was the women in France. The scalp against Australia in the World Cup in 2017. Like, they're all great to have as motivators, but it's about this group writing a similar chapter in England 2025.
Yeah, definitely. Like Irish women's rugby has had a journey, but I think it's important to recognise those moments, because like they started the ripples that we're now calling a green wave, and it's also important to acknowledge the kind of the hard times in Irish rugby as well, because there had to be a group that went through it, and unfortunately it was that group, but they started the journey for us to be able to come through and be able to inspire the next generation and be able to take on a challenge that's set in England.
Did you ever doubt that we'd get back to this level, or that we'd get to this level again so quick?
No, I always knew that Ireland would be back on a world stage, and I knew that Ireland deserved to be back on a world stage, and I knew that we had the calibre of players that could get us back to a world stage. So like I've said it many of times that personally I want to be the best in the world, and to be the best in the world you also need the best players around you, and I really believe that we have world-class players here. And yeah, I'd no doubt ever that we were going to get back onto a world stage and back into be able to compete with Tier 1 nations, because we're Ireland, and even though we're a small nation, I think we produce some outstanding talent, whether it's rugby or whether it's not. Like Ireland is known for producing athletes that are a huge talent.
What's your earliest memory of the 15 side, be it as a fan maybe?
Yeah, as a kid, probably in Ashburn, to be honest. I was extremely lucky that my parents brought me to every women's game that they could. Like I said, I grew up as a rugby player, but I grew up playing many other sports as well. And I suppose like I started rugby when I was 6, playing with the boys, and I always knew I wanted to play for Ireland. But at that stage, it was like I don't know if there's a women's team, so I'm just going to do it for the men's team. So then when my parents kind of found this out, they were like, "Oh God, we need to educate this girl." So it was a case of like they did all the research, because I was only 6 at the time, but they did all the research, found the games, brought me to every game they could, whether it was Ashburn, whether it was Donnybrook for Leinster, whether it was St Mary's, I don't know, wherever it was, I was there. And it's gas, because I've probably photo albums of myself as a child with the absolute stalwarts of Irish rugby, whether that's Fiona Coughlin or Niamh Briggs, or whether it's Claire Malloy, or whether it's Maz Riley, like the whole lot of them. There's photo albums at home, and like I think it got to the stage where there weren't very many kids going to the games, because it wasn't as well known back then. But some of the girls started to know me by name as just, oh, that's just Aoife, she goes to the games. and it's cool because then as a kid you're kind of being like, oh my god, like my heroes know my name. So yeah, like I think, yeah, it's important that we inspire the next generation, but that's probably my earliest memory.
Just, this is the final question, I promise. I love your enthusiasm. Like, your enthusiasm is infectious and it's bounding out of you. And that is what exists across the 32 players. That's what exists across the coaching staff. That, like, there is an army of people with really strong self-belief preparing to descend on this tournament.
Yeah, like it's probably something that we spoke a lot about, like over the last while, like and it's talking about our why, like why do we play, why do we want to play for Ireland, and who do you represent, and like what do you want to achieve, and all of these big questions, and like all of us are going towards the same goal, and we want to be a successful Irish team, and that started in Dubai of 23, and it's only grown since then. So yeah, there's a lot of belief in this group, but I think it stems off the back of results, in terms of like we've beaten tier 1 nations like New Zealand. We've shown we should probably beat more in terms of France. We've shown that like we can be a step ahead of tier 2 nations in terms of the likes of Italy and Wales, and those results that we've had. So like any confidence we have is backed up, really, isn't it? So yeah, like personally I've a lot of confidence in this group, but like I have a lot of confidence in myself as well to be able to achieve the goals that I want to achieve, because at the end of the day, like, you got to back yourself to do it as well. And I don't think it's necessarily like arrogant or cocky, because those things of us being confident, it's backed up by results and it's backed up by performance. So it's just nearly scientific, isn't it? Like, if there's results to provide it.
I could talk to you all day. Listen, I wish you nothing but success in the next few
cheers.
weeks.
I really
Aoife, thanks so
appreciate
much.
that.